Hey, what's up, guys? Hi, everyone. I have a little clip that I gotta do for for the people that really stand up for the truth and the people wanna hear the truth. Cause I'm an Africans and I hear Trump say about African shithole countries. That was really laughable and that was funny, but it just again, story he repeat himself because why story repeat himself? Everybody know discrimination been with the Babylonian families and the Zionist people. That's been too long. That start from Napoleon, way before that. Always when they wanna try to invade Africa, because we're the shit country, but everything come from us, every little thing. And this is not about discrimination, this is not about putting the other race aside. No, this is about historical truth. This is the truth come from story. And what I'm saying, the statement is even justified by some high scientists and some high philosopher in humanity in the 17th centuries to the 20s, go all the way down to right now. Right, we're talking right now. There's some white people themselves. I agree with what I'm saying, and they professor history, and they some of them are some scientists. Some of them are literally what is the name again? Some writer about historical events. And this is not something that we're gonna talk about and just have fun with it. This is a knowledge. This is not just thinking about your own mind talking about. If you learn the story of Kemet, Kemet is before Egypt get the name of Egypt, because name of Egypt come with the Napoleon people. When Napoleon invade Egypt and wanna take Egypt in the hand of the Egyptian kings. That time Egypt was a black Egypt. Let's hear me again. Egypt, way before that, there was black. There was no white man right now living in like how happening, how the Arab, the white man end up became Arab, come with the what is the name with the descent a descent language, a language that was literally come recently from the travelers from Asia. Let's say the middle of Asia. Those Babylonian peoples. That's where the language coming from, traveling all the way, because the Roman and the Greeks that time their empire was around. But Africa was a big problem to attack that time, because there was some tough kings, scientists, really smart people, very smart people. And there is a lot of people share on the job. There is somebody, he's a Senegalese scientist. There is another white man. You can Google it. You can Google it. Volney. Volney is the one talk about how story was changed and how they was lie about um, Bonaparte went to Egypt with Napoleon. That was all about refabrication. That was all about changing the story of Egypt, because Egypt that time was too much advanced on science. You know, the hieroglyph come from there. You know, counting come from Egypt. You know, everything. Every little, I was hearing a statement India said start counting. That's some nonsense. Counting come from the Egyptians, and that time Egypt was black. That's why when you go to Egypt, I was there. When you go to Egypt, the South Aswan in Egypt, they call them South Aswan. Those black, you go, they just like a black, dark, just like the black in Africa. There's no difference. Because why? Those are the descendants, the black kings and queens who was there still, before they take some and kill some, like slavery and those stuff. But that's how, and the other blacks run back to run back down to inside, more deep in Africa. That's why the travel from the north to the east, all of that, the discovery, because the land wasn't, that time wasn't filthy like that. That was people traveling, you know, how people, the remultiplication, how people getting bigger and getting more, what is the name, reproductive on earth. Because this is all the proof when even some big architect, some big example, Champlain, he's the one who was talking about, if you change the story of a whole humanity, it's like you kill every humanity on earth. Every human, every human on earth. If you change the story of whole humanity, you will kill every human on earth. Because the lie that the story be storing the white people with their agenda, the Zionists, put everything on their hand, talk about they create everything, they do everything. No. All this knowledge was come from black people. That's why the reason why they was obsessed to ship the black slaves. Because of technology. If you really see the story of the world, when blacks come in Europe and come in America, that's when Americans and Europe start developing really fast and more faster. And very, very, very fast. Because the occupation that they were doing in Africa. Because that's what Africa wanted to provide for himself. But they didn't have the chance. Because that time, the whole land was dominated by the Europeans' violence. And the African wasn't ready for that. It's not about they was weak. They was not ready for that violence. And the time when they was talking about colonization, they come to Africa to learn. The colonization is just a word. Colonizing Africans, no. Africans know how to cook better than this American. They have gold, diamond. They used to have an empire that, if you really learn Kanka Musa, he was a king that donated a lot of his wealth. He was from Mali, a lot of his wealth to Egypt, between Egypt, all the way, he traveled all the way to Saudi Arabia. He built a lot of stuff for the Saudi Arabians village there, helped them with a lot of money. And this time, I'm gonna talk about this time on the 19th centuries. 19th centuries, Kanka Musa. You see, this is some crazy story that you don't never heard, because the problem is the ignorance. Somebody like a Donald Trump. Africa take this war to a level that if you are giving African what you are on them, I beg you, nobody will gonna get, will never gonna go, nobody will gonna have nothing left. No one. There is no continent gonna have nothing left if they pay African what they own them. Africa take this country, this world to a struggle. He built America, there is no doubt about that. He built Europe, there is no doubt about that. Asia, some of them, because that time Asia was colonized by the white men as the same, because Africa, their white men, what is the name? Storage is Africa. And that time they was colonizing Asia as well. So yes, there is, of course, there is an opponent that, or there is a normal reason that there is some equipment go to Africa, to Asia, because that time white men was conquering that, because wherever they live, they want to live with wealth. And this is the truth. This is not even something we're gonna sit here and argue. And thank you. Trump can suck it, he's a sucker. I don't think he just a suck, but he may swallow too, just like a lot of politicians do these days, because they're all puppet. Know your story and know the truth. African, we're proud to be African, and we will always gonna still be Africans. No matter where we go, we're gonna keep our civilization, our culture, our morality. We're not violence. We don't believe in violence. All this violence they preach you in Africa is nonsense, is the rebellion, all of that. Is the white men giving them gun to war so they can go behind, take their resources. You know why these people are distracted with war, so they can go store a lot of stuff. Just like how the United States do with the Middle East. Let's tell the truth. Humanity is more important, because if African was doing this thing, I will be mad at the Africans. But whoever do it, you are shaitan and you are evil, because nobody deserves to die. We need to help each other. It wasn't now necessary for all this nonsense, slavery, this hate, this bullshit. There is a lot of scientists, they're white, and they're against it that time. They say this shit is immoral. This thing is disgusting. But even fucking 2018, Trump is sitting on the office, talk about African shithole, and is perfectly fine with white people or those negative white. I'm sorry, even say white people, because I know some white not into that bullshit. Some smart white are not into that nonsense. But some nasty white, some fucked up white like some KKK, yes, they love to hear that bullshit. They really like it because they nonsense. They be funded by some Jewish association, Zionists, and be saying they don't like the Jews. Confused. That's what don't make you. Same as the black, what do you mean? Some black organization here that making their violence using name of black or revolution. No, a revolution is moral. If we don't change our mind, we will never change the world. And this world we've been living in the past. There is no doubt about it. We're still in the past. We live in the past because it's only technology puts us far, and we think different. We think we are different. No, we still have the same morality, the same thinking, the negative thinking of racism, racial problem. I think these things supposed to be gone and what is the name, erased of the face of the earth. But still these days we talk about racism, we talk about discrimination, and something that Africans supposed to even suffer and take the pain, because Africa, there is no continent have more pain than Africa. There is none, because Africa been suffering since too long. And if you agree what I'm saying, follow me. Thank you so much for your time.